Just 177 kilometers east of Hanoi lays Ha Long Bay, an area that is home to thousands of limestone islands shrouded by rainforest and stunning emerald green water. Formed over thousands and thousands of years, this area has provided not just food but also protection for the local people. The name Ha Long directly translates to descending dragon, which according to Vietnamese legends is the story of how Emperor Jade sent a fierce dragon to protect the country from invaders. This dragon is said to have fought relentlessly, spewing jewels and jade at the enemy. This is how they believed the thousands of small islands were formed. The dragon was said to have permanently called the bay its home and is seen as a symbol of protection. Today we set out to explore the area to find out if these islands hold the stories it was once said to have come from. We look to uncover how the local people live and gain insight to the secrets that hide behind the stunning landscape. This is part 2 of the Vietnam Street series.
All right, guys, we're currently at Ha Long Bay, and you know what? This is one of those scenes where sometimes you don't always get to shoot video for it. You know, you want to shoot video, but you also need to live in the moment. I think part of being an artist is not to always just work. It's sometimes to just observe, you know, and if you don't observe beautiful things every now and then, just appreciating the beauty for what it is, sometimes it's hard to make good work, you know what I mean? You need to really allow your eyes to see and just see and not really have the pressure of working. But at the same time, I know I'm gonna make images, I have to. It is very windy up here, by the way, so if you do hear any of that wind noise, it is because of the wind. But look at that right there. Look at, so freaking gorgeous. The mountains in contrast with that huge vessel right there. And I mean, this is like a 360 panoramic view. Vietnam is one of those places where, man, everything is just beautiful. Everything. All right, so I think for the next 30 minutes, I'm gonna go around the boat. I'm just gonna make images of the scenery around me, and then I'll check back into some video a little bit later on, but I'll see you guys in a little bit. crossing the street. All right, so we're walking down this alleyway. I guess it's a street. It's got a ton of different things going on. Like there's some nail shops going on, tons of coffee shops. And the cool thing about Vietnam is the coffee shops, they open up until like 11 or 12. This is like my type of area right here. There's times when I'm at home, I drink coffee at like 12 a.m. People think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, I'm not crazy. People actually do that. Coffee's not only a morning drink, it's an every day of the hour beverage. And look at this place, man. People are queuing up. What is this? The famous fuss spot, maybe? There we go. We live for the action. 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 Don't get pickpocketed. We live for the action. Welcome to Train Street, y'all. I'm just gonna follow a group of people in here. Check it out. So they moved us to the edge because they're saying we have to sit closer to the wall because it gets pretty damn close to you. So kind of sketchy, but we live for the chaos. Anyways, here comes the train. I hear it right now. All right, it's 5 a.m. I'm kind of tired. I like got a few hours of sleep. And we're headed to the airport, about to catch a flight to Da Nang. Yesterday was our final day in Hanoi. I was pretty happy with, all the images that I was able to make, at least here in Hanoi. But man, I'm gonna miss this place. In a few hours, the scenery will change from, streets to more of like a beachy kind of tropical feel, which I'm also very excited to make photographs of. Alright, good morning, you guys. So I woke up early today, try to get a sunrise going, but the clouds are too thick over this water, so you can see a little bit of sunlight peeking over the top, but unfortunately there's going to be no sunrise over the horizon. But very moody scenes here on the beach. Looks like there's a lot of smog and fog, and seeing the sand as well as the cityscape in the background, kind of a really interesting look. So I'm gonna walk up and down here before we have to leave. I think I have an hour to spare, but for now, we live for the chaos. Let's go. actually gonna start walking this way because way out in the distance over there, there's actually some people swimming. So such an eerie looking scene, you know?
I interrupt this program with breaking news. It seems as if Japes has entered a flow state.
Is it kind of like yellow here? Maybe yellow is the theme of the day. About 5 beers in. You know what? I don't even know what, man.
Welcome back to another segment of He Screws It All Up. Jonathan got carried away and entered a fierce drinking competition with his girlfriend's cousin. This left him quite discombobulated right before going on a rocky boat ride. He lost track of his mission to document and forgot to take photos, thus resulting in a lack of images for this part of the episode. And that concludes this segment of He Screws It All Up.
All right, man, we're on a boat. You think there's any fish in here? Called a salmon. Do they have salmon in Vietnam? Oh, hell no. Why are we rocking? Cause I wanna rock with you. Yo. You know what? I'd love to be a boat driver. I do this as my day job. You think I could be a boat driver for my day job?
Yeah. But you drown everybody.
Oh man, that would be tragic. Oh, this. Alright, so we're trying bún bò Huế. It's like one of my favorite dishes back in the States. But, you know, I feel like I've only really had American version. I've only had bún bò Huế in America, so trying it in Vietnam for the first time today. I don't know if you guys heard my girlfriend, but she was saying she's only going to get me rare meat in chat because I got blood pressure issues. Thanks for thinking of my blood pressure. Thanks for thinking of my blood pressure. Even though she's the one who makes my blood pressure go up through the roof. She's awkward right now because she's surrounded by family. I never really thought I would be in a Micro Four Thirds camera. Usually I prefer like the rangefinder kind of style camera. But this OM camera, because my Leica kind of crapped out on me, I'm forced to shoot with it. And I've actually really fallen in love with this camera. Am I nervous? No.
This is the people making it is actually from Hanoi, so this is like the most authentic.
Let's do it. I'm just tired. I'm gonna start off with just a little bit of spice. I'm ready to smell this thing. It smells so good. Dude, so flavorful. Okay, instantly, after just trying the soup broth, it's so much more rich than the way I have in the States. All right, so I've been walking around Da Nang for like the last, I want to say 4 or 5 hours, and I've gotten a little bit away from the resort areas, and I've been going through these smaller sort of alleyways, and I found that there's a lot more interesting. There's a lot more things going on. It looks a little bit less, I don't know if process is the right word, but it looks a little bit less like perfect. And you start to find kind of like that local feel and energy. Like over here, it looks like they're burning something. I don't know what. Uh-oh. Do I belong here? They're all tattooed. And they're doing karaoke. Now the thing about this is, like, you know, you are taking a risk. You have to accept that anything really can go wrong. Things can go really good, or you could end up on the wrong part of town with a camera out in the wrong place. So I'm not recommending anybody do this, but if you are a photographer looking to document more so the areas where, you know, it's not so much so your typical touristy destinations, getting lost is one of the best ways to learn more about a country, to get a really good understanding of what life is like here in this part of town. So. All right, so there's a little bit of a quiet spot in the street right here. I'm about to dive into the hecticness. So I might not talk. I'm just gonna walk you guys through and make images as I go. Here we go. Starting with the coconuts. Last day in Vietnam for me, at least. I'll fly back tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, so I guess it's like a 1.5. But we're about to go eat at this place called the Running Bean. Alright, so we're at this restaurant called The Running Bean, and almost immediately you can kind of tell the difference between northern Vietnam, central, and now we're back here in the south. I think the first thing I realized is the way people dress here is a lot more different than the way they dress up north. This has like a big city feel. I think it's like a little less conservative when it comes to the clothing and whatnot. What are your observations between going to Hanoi, then going down to Da Nang, and then coming back down to where your family's from?
They just seem more conservative in the north. Pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same. You think the food's gonna taste different out here?
I don't know. This is our first time really eating here. So did we eat anything?
We did.
Hoteo.
What is that?
Hoteo, the noodles.
All right, so that's currently my view. We're on the 42nd floor, and it is just absolutely gorgeous seeing Ho Chi Minh City from the top like this. Now, we kind of spent the day, honestly, just shopping around. I didn't really do too much shooting. I feel like the entire trip, I've been so focused on making work that I almost forgot to just be present in the moment. So I was shooting here and there, taking pictures left and right still, but I didn't really make an effort to document the process. I just really wanted to be in the moment here, and especially I was with my girlfriend. So we visited a ton of different shops, and now we are back at the hotel. But it's golden hour currently, and the golden hour here in Vietnam is kind of weird because there's like this layer of smog in the air, and it kind of surrounds the buildings. It almost reminds me of like Daly City fog in the Bay, but there's a really cool effect that it has on a cityscape like this. And when you combine these pieces of architecture, and then you just have like the older homes as well with all the sheet metal on top of the buildings, you get a sense of old and new. And I think that is something that makes Vietnam very special. You know, there's a lot of history here, a ton of history, and things change all the time. The people, the country, the cities, everything is changing. And I just want to take a second and just say, you know, I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to be able to come out here and document this country, you know, in the current state that it is in, 2025. You know, if I were to come back 5 years from now, I bet you the place is going to be different. Come back 10 years from now, it's going to be different. Talking to my girlfriend's mom, asking her, like, what was life like 30 years ago? She said it was way different. She lived in this city, but it was nothing like it is now. And I think that's something that we as photographers should really take into consideration. You know, it's easy to kind of just overlook these smaller things that we see on a day-to-day basis, but you never really know. Like, I'm looking at a metro train, like a subway train, and according to my girlfriend's family, that is the first of its kind here in Vietnam. And that's crazy, you know? I need to get some B-roll of that. That's pretty dang cool. But it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the States, you could be in Europe, you could be in the Philippines, or somewhere in Asia. Document your surroundings. You know, even if it doesn't feel important right now, I guarantee you it's far more important than you think it is. We live in a world today where everyone has a camera, but not everyone is documenting what's around. Most of the time, we're taking pictures of what we're eating. We're taking pictures of our outfits. We're taking pictures of our, I don't know, concerts, I guess. Yet we forget to photograph the simplicity of our environment. And that right there, folks, is why I feel so honored to be here. And I am just overwhelmed with, you know, gratitude. With that said, a lot of this work is going to be turned into a book. You know, I have my first monograph coming up here in, I want to say, end of February, early March. On top of that, I think I might do a whole separate zine just on Vietnam itself. Maybe not a whole book, because the book is a whole strenuous process. It took me months to find a publisher, and you know, that is a whole beast in itself. So I'm going to leave the book strictly as my original plan. But if you guys want to see my work from Vietnam, definitely stay tuned. Follow me over on Instagram. I'm sure by the time you're seeing this video, I've probably already announced the book. And if you guys are interested in possibly seeing an entire zine dedicated to Vietnam, just photographs only from this, you know, expedition, this photo journey, I'd be more than happy to put something like that together. It's already on my radar, but I want to gauge your guys' interest as well, because I know a book and a zine back to back within, you know, a few months isn't going to really be the best or the most ideal move. But when you create work that you feel proud of, it's important that you print it. It's important that you put it out into the world, even if no one's going to look at it, for the sake of documenting your time. Anyways, I fly back to the States tomorrow. I'm probably not going to film anything at the airport, just go home. But thank you all for tuning into this, you know, super long Vietnam street photography vlog, I guess you could call it. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like down below and also hit that subscribe button for more street photography content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, Minolta Gang.